Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video we're going to talk about defining section properties. Now one of the questions always structural engineers have it in mind, since we're going to use the software to design the structure, so why would I have to tell the program which section I have? When we say section property, what does it mean? I'm going to tell Etabs my beams, like for example 30 by 60, the column 40 by 40, the slab is 12 centimeter. Now a question arises in your mind, why would I have to tell Etabs those things when I'm expecting from Etabs to do the design for me? Now if you remember from structural analysis 2 that you have indeterminate structure, one of the key points in analysis is the structural stiffness and the member stiffness. Now you cannot analyze a structure if you don't know their stiffness. We had two methods there, which we call them approximate analysis and accurate analysis or proper analysis. Now in order to do a proper analysis, you need the section size, the beam section size, in order to calculate their stiffness, the column size. So the program works in the same way. Now you have to still go through preliminary design. The first stage of design of a building is preliminary design. Now you do a quick analysis, which most of the time approximate analysis will be used, at least to get an idea what will be the loading, approximate loading on the building, and according to that loading you will come up with some sections, then we'll bring them into Etabs or any other software in order to do appropriate analysis and design. So the design here will check the section. If the sections are not okay, it will tell us. And we can even let Etabs to choose between a set of sections that I want to use for design. Let's say that now in the architectural plans we don't have, you will see the size of the beams. You're not going to see the size of the beams here. Now this is what you have. That's it. This is the beginning of the design. You don't have these structural things. Forgive me for this. So you only have this one. You don't know the size of the beam, but you will come up with something. It's already done here. For example, like they put something here. Yes, we can specify this one, use it there, and then let Etabs to design. So the design process in Etabs, you can force Etabs to design the reinforcement based on the section size that you're providing, or you can provide multi-sections and let Etabs to choose between the sections that are appropriate for the location. This is something we have in Etabs. They can go through the list of sections. Let's say you will provide some sections to Etabs. Will say, okay, let's have a section like this, another section like this. Let's say one half like this. You will give a lot of sections to Etabs, and you will tell Etabs that choose from those which one is appropriate for this beam. So, for example, those are we have. You will let Etabs to choose which one appropriate for this one. Yeah, it's possible. We can let Etabs to do this one. For the column, similar. We will have different size of columns and we'll let Etabs to choose between them. That's possible. Or it's already been assumed you can use them and find the reinforcement. That's also possible. So we're going to show you both of them when it comes to designing the sections. So the beginning, what we have to do, we have to define section properties. So those are the minimum required dimension for the beams, column, and slab. So what we have here, frame section, slab section, and wall section if we have it. Now wall section goes for the shear wall. Slabs we know. Frame section here will be for column and beam. And when it comes to design reinforcement bar size, it's already predefined, but we can go back and as well there. Tendon section is basically if you have cables, you can go for this one. Deck section mainly for kind of, we have a steel and a slab together. Can be. We'll talk about link support properties if recommended. So I'll talk about this one here. Now let's start with the frame section. I'm not going to go all of them in the beginning because when we're required, we can always come back here and do it. Remember, it's not mandatory to do it in the beginning, but I recommend to do the things that you know it in the beginning. Later, if required, you always come back to them and define something new. So if you click on the frame section here, there's already predefined a lot of sections inside here. So I can select, those are there. I can select, for example, with shift, I can select, with shift. Let's go for new. I'll leave this one here. I can delete. Those are the things inside here, columns, beams. Why they add in this way? Because Revit will use this one for design. So under concrete column, there's a lot of section, and the concrete beam, steel beam, there are a lot of sections. Now, if I want to delete them, yes, I'll delete those. I'll just add the one that I have it. For example, delete. Let me delete those things. One will be there later. I can add this one. Let's say I don't have anything within there. I can add new property. I'll click here. So you have it here. New property. From here, you can type it. For example, if you want to choose something, for example, you go for concrete L shape. If you have it, will be appearing here. This is something from the project. Now only one here because I delete them. I want to add the property I want them. I don't want everything to be here. So I'll add a new property. From here, we have concrete. For example, first thing that we'll add is concrete rectangular, or you can just simply from here. For example, the section that you have it, those are steel composite, special, and this is concrete. I can go for rectangular. Now, rectangular, it can be beam, it can be column. So let's just write beam here. Beam. Now, the property name here, it's preferable to go with the size of it. So write, for example, B, the way that you say that it's, let's say, 25 by 60. 25 by 60. I'll write the name here. Now, the material, since I predefined it, will select the material here. So you tell that this beam has C2025. The color, leave it. The nodes, leave it. Section shape, it's here. The depth of it, for example, 900. Let's say 900 is a lot. I'll make this one millimeter. Let's say 600. The width of it to be 250. It's already here at 2560. I wrote it like this, 2560. I'll make this one 50. It will be better. 50. We'll make this one 500. Now we'll go property modifier here. This is, I'll talk about them if we're going for cracked section and cracked section. There are something here you'll be able to adjust some of those stiffness modifying factors. I'll leave it for now for analysis. Keep the way it is. We're gonna go for modify show rebar here. Why? Because this is, you have reinforcement inside it. Yes, you will tell the program is this going to be beam or column. So you can go back here. In the beginning, you'll say design type, it's column or M3 to be beam. So if it's beam, you'll choose beam here. Now, you will specify covers here. Cover for the top bar, for example, will have, let's say 25 or 40, whatever you have it according to the code. For example, 40, or let's say you have 30 millimeter for the covers. You have it here. You'll leave this, you're gonna go for the reinforcement here. Now, rebar materials, you're gonna choose it here. For example, rebar grade 450. Confinement bar, which is the stirrup as well, if you had one, you can click here. Now, let's say that you haven't defined the material. What will you do? You don't need to cancel and go and define. From here, they add a shortcut, add material. It'll bring you back here. Let's say I will add a new material. Same thing, rebar, for example, smaller for the stirrups. Normally we use smaller. For example, grade 250. And we'll bring it here. We'll check to see if the materials are okay. 250. Let's say everything is okay. press OK. Now I have this one, press OK. In the list I will have this one as well, meld 250. So this is also possible. Always you can get back to them, but in the beginning if you add them you have it from the list. So you have the material you select for the rebars, because when you design them, that this beam, wherever you assign this beam, those will be the specific, the detailing, the cover and the reinforcement that are going to be designed. Those material will be used for it. So you press OK. Now you have the beam here, and you press OK. This is here. If you go for show section properties, you will get all the information: area, modulus of elasticity, section modulus for the beam. Then you have it. You press OK if you just for seeing it. So press OK. You'll have it here. Add a new one. For example, let's say how we add for column. Now let's see. This is column, let's say 40 by 40. 40 by 40. The same thing, will select the material. Let's say if the material is different, I can add a new material. Let's say that I'm going for, I love the European code, the way that for concrete, this is T3037. Press OK. Press OK. Everything will be there. Press OK again. Now from the list I have C3037. I have it there. Now let's say we'll make this one 400 by 400 to see how to do for the column section property. Now you can go for rebar. Leave these things for now here. We'll go for modify show rebar here. Now this time we'll go for column. This is for the column, because we have PM2, M3, because it's most of the time you have two moments and a P. The name of it here, it is like PM2, M3 means two moments on the column and one load. M3 just design beam for the flexural we're designing it. The same thing here, longitudinal bars, for example, on the tie, I can select the materials there. Now the type of the column reinforcement we have it. If the section is rectangular, so you have to select a rectangular configuration. If it is circle, you will change this one to circular. Why? Because circular will provide the reinforcement in a circular manner, like this. You can still change this one. I'm not saying that you cannot change it. You can still change this one. We'll see what will happen when this part will be circular. So we have rectangular here. The ties, we have it here. Now, here there is something you're supposed to know, that we can use Etabs even for checking. Excuse me. We can use Etabs for checking the reinforcement that someone else designed it. So you might have a design, you bring it here, you will remodel it, and you add the reinforcement that someone already designed it in order for checking. So you can, if this is checked, you will add the reinforcement here, and the reinforcement will be checked under the loading that you have it. Since we're going to design it, so you'll say reinforcement to be designed. Now those things here, we'll keep them the same way. The only thing, I'm not gonna, the cover, let's say, we'll change this one to 30 or 40, whatever you have it. Now you don't have to provide the numbers here, leave them the way. Somebody said, okay, if you're going to be designed, why we have to provide them here? Leave them the way they are. The only thing that you have to do is select the bar size. Now, if you don't have a bar size here, we could go back to define and select the bar size, or from here, you can have, most probably everything will be inside it here. You only specifying the size of the bars here for the design. This is for the longitudinal bars, this is for the tie bars. Let's say T, that's it. The rest of them, don't worry about it. It will be designed because we select here to be designed. This is made, if you select to be checked, then you have to provide the reinforcement here in order for program to check those reinforcements to see are they okay under the loading that you have it. So make sure that you understand this part here. Just make sure this is designed and just select the bar size that required. We can change this one later as well when we come to design stage. So you press OK, then you have column. Look, there is a reinforcement inside it, but no worry, still okay, because those reinforcements will be designed. Nothing will be used for inside the building. You press OK, you have the column there, and that's how you add beam and column. Do you have many more? Yes, you have circular. I mean, you can go still OK. Basically, we'll have here, if let's say we choose this one to be column, if you go show rebars here, it's circular basically. So in the circular you have spiral reinforcement. You've maybe seen them. The spiral is like this. The tie will be like this. It's much more stronger than a normal tie, one by one. So spiral, it's much stronger than the single ties, sometimes to be used in the circular columns. Well, you can go for different shapes. Those are for precast, you can use them. Steel section is also possible. Now, steel section, you have it from the, I mean, you can go for providing all of this. Or in the beginning you had the list. I delete them. I delete them because itself it has all of them that I can use them. But I don't want to have them, for example. I can add my own, or from the list basically, you can have them. Now I want to delete this one. I don't want to have this one here. This guy all deleted. So I just have those two, the sections that I want them inside here. If I press OK, now if I go to frame section, I will see the frame section that I have them here. Double click on it, it will bring you the property. If anything you want to change, you'll be able to change it here. That says, so far we came here, material, frame sections. Now in the frame sections, you have the other section as well, because I'm still in the properties. So in the next video, we'll talk about, we'll have slab sections, wall sections, reinforcement bar size. We already most of them are there. If something required, you can add it here as well. Thanks for watching.